Hello and happy Tuesday, my friends. Welcome to the Daily Creative Challenges in Adobe Illustrator. I'm your host, Julia Masalska. Welcome everybody in the chat. If you're tuning in from YouTube, head over to be.net/Adobe Live. This is where I'm reading the chat live. And wow, what an amazing stream with Claudia. Honestly, one of my favorite hosts, and it's just so much fun when Claudia's on. Very entertaining. And Mike, also really amazing art done. So really excited about the program. After us, we also have my friends with some XD for you guys. And we have Susan and Arturo in the chat, and Wade and Carol and Stony, Barbara, Fabio, Omar. So many amazing people. Wow. Cool. So Musas is also here. Friends, today's challenge is going to be really fun, and it's going to be going a little bit more into depth of typography. And we're having this challenge series all about logo design, right? And typography is such an important part of logo design. Welcome everybody in the chat who's joining us from YouTube. Head over to be.net/Adobe Live and ask your questions live so I can read them. Cool. All right, friends, let's get started. For all of you who are new here, we can go and head to behance.net/challenge/illustrator. This is where you can get all the info necessary for participating in the daily creative challenges. You can click take the challenge, and then you'll even get email notifications whenever a new challenge is live. Then each day we have a new challenge unlock. You can see yesterday we had some lettermark design, and today we're going to be designing a word mark using the tracking adjustment tool. All right. So here you can also join the community chat, which is our Discord channel, and you can also find it right here, bit.ly/AI Discord. And this is where you can submit your daily creative challenges, and this is what it looks like. Ooh, look, some amazing work we have. This one from Carole from yesterday's challenge, lettermark design. Great job. Then we also have Benji submitting some logo lockups from challenge number 2. Great work, everyone. And here we also have Agelos submitting some logo lockups for plant nursery. I think this looks amazing. And then we also have Agelos submitting challenge number 5. How cool is that? So feel free to rewatch yesterday's video if you haven't yet, and participate in the past challenges as well. But today's challenge is going to be all about designing a word mark, and all about tracking and kerning. And what is that? What are all of these terms, and what do they mean, and how to adjust them, how to balance your typography. This is what we are going to be working on today. Now, if you don't know, you can click Get Started right here, and you can get the starter file that you can open up in Adobe Illustrator. You can also rewatch all the other videos or get the starter files on behance.net/challenge/illustrator. Now, I would like you all to download this file, so please click Get Started and download and open the file in Adobe Illustrator. And this is not what it's going to be looking like, but very similar to this. I have actually added some more explanations so we can go over some typography terminology today. So we're going to be talking about tracking, kerning, and leading. And I want you to know what that all means and how to adjust all of these things. All right, so once we select a piece of typography in our document, or maybe we can just create our own by using the type tool, create a window, we can see we get all the character settings right here on the right side in our properties panel. If you don't see the properties panel, head over to window and activate properties. Properties panel is really helpful to show you the tools necessary for whatever you're doing at this moment. So whenever we select a piece of typography, let's say we're going to select this one, we can see there are some adjustments here. And it's not only the text size. So right here we do have the font size. Then on the right side of it, we have the leading. And what the leading means, it's the difference, the distance between the lines, right? So if we go on here and start adjusting it, and lowering it, you can see that our text goes up. So the distance between the text lines goes up and down, right? That's called leading. And we can see right here, I also kind of described that. So the distance between these two lines is called leading. Then what we also have is tracking. And tracking, what it does is adjust the distance between the letters, right? But in a whole text object, it adjusts the distance between the letters. So here I can go in and adjust the tracking between my letters. But it's not very precise because it doesn't really say anything about the distance between the letters, the single letters, right? That's called kerning. So when you kern, it means you adjust manually the distance between the single letters, right? And one thing that you can do here is, so we do have some kerning options here, and we have optical and auto. So if I set it to auto, let's zoom in here a little bit, you can see that this is what was preset by the type designer, right? So the type designer already preset some kerning for us, but we can also go in and adjust it to optical. And what the optical adjustment does is it sees the different letters, the different shapes, and measures the difference between them, and adjust the optical kerning in the letter, between the letters. So I think that tool is really, really amazing for us to play with. All right, so how's everybody doing in the chat? We have Robert is also here, and Richard, and Arshad is here. Aaron is here. Kinsley. Awesome. So friends, so we have, once again, leading, the distance between the lines, kerning, the distance between the letters, and tracking, the distance between all the letters in the word or in a text paragraph, right? So this is that. I wanted to show you a trick how you can kern manually and how you can get a good result by kerning manually and adjusting the balance between the letters in your typography, in your logo. So let's get started. I'm going to bring all of that to the side for now, and I'm going to create a new text box. So I'm going in my type tool right here, and I'm going to select that. As you can see, now we had our leading adjusted to a specific amount. Now we're going to set it to auto, which is predetermined by the type designer. Okay, and we're going to make the typography, well, actually let's type out first what we want to type, and let's type something like Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. What a wonderful day. All right, and I'm going to change the color by going into my fill right here and double click into that and change my color to white. Now, having this type still selected, I'm going into my font size and I'm going to adjust it to 72. Now I can select the font that I want to select, and I would like you to work on a specific business name that you make up. You can also use your own name or any kind of word that you want to use for this. All right, so right now I can adjust the character styles right here in the properties panel. You can also go in and activate some new ones by going to find more, and here we will be able to access the Adobe fonts straight from Adobe Illustrator, which is also super fun. It takes a second, but here you can also preview the different typefaces that we have, right? So let's see what we can find here. All right, let's grab this one, Omni Gothic, right there. And to download or to activate this font inside Illustrator, all you have to do is click the little cloud right next to it where it says activate. So I'm going to activate this font, and then I'm getting a message asking, do I really want to activate this font? And I'm clicking OK. All right, so now this font is being activated and downloaded basically into Illustrator. So there is no more kind of downloading, placing into the right folder needed. Adobe has done an amazing job creating this seamless experience of where you can just select your font. All right, so let's see, what was the name again? Okay, so let's take this one for now, Abadi MT Pro, and I'm going to make my font size way larger. So let's say I'm going to do like a 200 So something like that. Now let's space it out a little bit and let's adjust the tracking to maybe 75. So let's say we have something like this going on. Now, to be able to manually adjust the letters, you can either use the manual tracking right here. So you can go in and click between the letters and adjust it manually. Or you can do it very manually, where you outline the text by clicking Command Shift and O, transferring it into shapes. And you can now ungroup it, Command Shift and G, and you can move the letters yourself now. That is a very, very kind of hands-on version of what you can do. Let's lock everything in the background. I'm selecting all of this, holding Shift. I'm clicking on Tuesday to deselect it, or actually I have to deselect all the letters now. What I want to do now is I want to lock the background so it doesn't get into our way with Command and 2. Now you can see I have all of my objects kind of locked in the background, and I only have my letters available to activate, to work with. So one tip that I can show you how to find the right kerning for your typography is using contrast. So right now we have the text written on a black background with white letters, and that gives us a lot of contrast already. One tool that you can also use is you can use the rectangle tool, and you can go in, zoom in, and you can create yourself rectangles that go between the letters. And that way you can measure the distance between those letters. And I'm going to make this maybe like a, let's do like a red color so we can see them really, really well. Now you can see that if I copy and paste this between those letters, there is way more distance here, right? Let's do that for all of these. Let's see. So you can see the distance is always different, and it's not very well balanced at this moment, right? So this is not what we actually want, right? See, they are all kind of different distances. Now, one thing that you also have to keep in mind, so right now I'm only determining the vertical distance. So right now this is only the vertical distance. But if we look at some of these letters, let me actually finish this real quick. There we go. So you can see that right here between the A and the Y, there's only a small, tiny space. And why is that? It is because there is a lot of white space between those two letters. So to see that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another rectangle like that. And I'm going to make that maybe like a green color or yellow color. And I'm going to place that right underneath. And you can see now, let me actually make the Tuesday black so we can see it. So we can see that better because yellow and white don't have a lot of contrast. So let's do something like this. Now you can see that there is some spacing around here, although the spaces between the letters are so small. There's still a lot of space around here. So if you, for a second, take away these right here, the red distances that we have, which are just the vertical distances, you will be able to see that you can see that here, for example, we have a lot of white space between the letters, while here we have very little white space between the letters. Here again, we have a lot of space. So what we want to do now is we want to adjust and balance it. So for example, we can see that between the D and the A, there is a lot of space, while between the A and the Y, there's even more space here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the A just slightly to the right so that it balances out, so that this amount of space is just about the same as this one. All right. So that's something that we want to do when balancing the typography. We want to create a same amount of letters, same amount of spacing or fill between the letters, right? So here also we can see between the T and the U and the U and the E, there is a different amount of white space. So here we have very little, here we have a lot. So let's balance that out a little bit by moving the U just slightly to the left. And you can see as we move it, that here the space gets less and here it gets more, right? So this is what we want to achieve. We want to achieve a nice balance between all of these letters. Now we can look at, for example, this space and maybe This should be pretty good. All right, so I feel like we've done quite some work here, and let's remove all of these right there. And let's make our letters back to white. Right there. Okay, now we're going to remove the yellow rectangle, and now we can actually see that there is a little bit of kind of closure right here between the T and the U. And maybe we want to space out the T just a little bit more to the left, just like that. One technique that we can do to be able to see this very clearly, let's actually place the E just a little bit to the left also, like that. All right, so one technique that we can do to see all of these letters at once, I'm going to group them with Command and G, is, so sometimes our eye is used to reading things in the word, right? What we can do is we can copy this with Option, and we can turn this around. That's what I do when I'm working on logos. It kind of helps seeing the spacing better, because you don't no longer concentrate on what your eye is used to seeing, but more so on the actual space, right? So now we can also zoom out, and we can see that there are some little tweaks that we can make. So for example, we can see that between the E and the S there's a lot of space, whereas between the D and the A and the Y there is quite little space. So let's take the A and the Y and push them a little bit to the left. Going to space them out just a little bit, and the Y we're going to space out just a little bit more as well. Now when we zoom out, let's push the D just slightly to the left. There we go. All right. And that's kind of how I try to test the kerning between the letters. And when you zoom out, you can see that this one is already pretty much well balanced as opposed to this one, right? So let's keep this one here, and let's go in and adjust some more. So for example, I can see that the E and the S are kind of very close together as well. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to take all of these letters holding Shift, and I'm going to move them all a little bit to the right. And again, I'm zooming out and I'm looking, does it make it better? What else is kind of close or far away from each other? I can now see that maybe the A and the Y can go just slightly closer, just like that. And you can see that this version right here is already way more balanced, way more kind of better spread out than this one. So these are some of the techniques, and I would like you to do your own touch type tool with letters. Yeah, sure. I love the challenge when it comes to be able to do the kerning between the letters. Yeah, of course. All right, cool. Yeah, turn it upside down, zoom out on it. So when you zoom out really, really far, you'll be able to see what makes a better balance, right? So now I'm also seeing that D, A, and Y are kind of, there is not quite the balance that I want. I think maybe the A could be going just a little bit to the right. Yeah, or let me go back. So anyway, so there's a lot of time you can spend really tweaking this and really making sure that that these things are balanced. But for now, I'm going to go in and keep this guy here, and let's do that. And then I can go back in and double check my other techniques, right? So I can go in and get some of the red right here and send this one right underneath. And one thing to keep in mind is that round curves usually take up a little bit more space, right? So our eye kind of matches what's missing here and adds it on this side. So when we have a rounded letter, make sure to not kern too far away, because then we have some white space around here that will kind of compensate for it. So you might move the letter too far away from it. All right, so that's that. And try out the technique that we looked at earlier, where there is an optical kerning setting as opposed to auto. Some typefaces are sometimes really good set on the auto, and some typefaces are not as well designed, and you would have to kind of tweak around a little bit until you get the right kerning in. All right. So those are some of my tips, and now that we have this, I would like you to actually let's go in and try to type. I should have made a copy in the beginning. So if you're doing this right now, make a copy in the beginning, and what was it, a body, I think. Let's do Tuesday. Yeah, that was the right typeface, and it was, I think, a 200. All right, so this is before and this is after. Let's actually adjust, add a little bit to that so we can see exactly what has been done. All right, so I would like you to send in a before and the after, maybe with a 0, so we can see the difference that you've made. All right, and to export your file, you can go to File, Export, Export As, and then we're going to select PNG right there, and we're making sure to click on Export, use artboards, because we do want to export the artboard and not the whole workspace. So that's that, and I'm going to click Export. Here we can adjust the resolution. 72 or 150 points per inch is perfectly fine. And I'm going to click OK, and now my my image is already saved here. All right, cool. Yeah, you can also modify the type without outlining it. So for that, as I was mentioning earlier, you can simply click between the letters wherever you want to adjust the kerning, and you can go in and adjust it right there by clicking up and down, or I believe plus and minus on your keyboard. Let's see. Oh no, never mind. Let's see. I think there was something. Anyway, so just try it with this kerning adjustment tool right here. Oh, okay. You can also slide with your mouse up and down, holding Option, or just slide up and down once you are between the letters. So feel free to experiment with that if you want to keep alive text. All right. So we've talked about tracking, kerning, and leading. Once more to repeat, leading is the distance between the lines. Tracking is the distance between letters in the whole word. And kerning is a specific distance between the letters to be adjusted optically. All right. So let's get back to our Discord channel right here, and I'm going to post my artwork. To get here, go to bit.ly/AI Discord, and Adnan is saying I'm still confused, but I rewatch. Yes, please rewatch. It's all about, technically it's all about the balance, you know, that you see in a logo, and I would like you to really pay attention between to kind of maintain that distance, the balance, and the white space between the letters, right? That's something, that's kind of the key takeout out of this. bit.ly/AI Discord is where you can join our Discord channel, and this is again where what it looks like. Here we have the challenge hashtag where you can submit your challenge, right? So click onto that, and then you can click the little plus element right here and click the plus, upload a file, and you can upload your image that you've created, or you can simply drag and drop your file into the Discord channel. Cool. And Donnie submitting some challenge number 2 today. I love the little connection between the two M's. I think it came out amazing. I also love how you colored the fills in the letters. That gives it a lot of character. Awesome. Yeah, and we have our lovely mentors right here, Colby, Jack, myself, Randall, Ryan, and Sean, to give you feedback. And we have some moderators here. So feel free to tag them if you want some feedback, and they will get back to you. All right, my friends. So feel free to upload your file or drag and drop it into the Discord under #challenge. And I hope this was a helpful session for you and you've learned the difference between leading, kerning, and tracking. And I hope to see your submissions in the chat at Discord. Feel free to also shoot me a message if you have any specific questions. Thank you all so much. Stay tuned for the next stream. It's an XD stream. And I'll see y'all tomorrow for challenge number 7. Bye-bye.